Are laws meant to keep us safe? My first grader son received a school handout this week. The lesson it contained concerned the proper end of both laws and schools. That end was spelled out clearly and distinctly. It was safety. Kids go to school and citizens abide by laws for the sake of safety. This was the lesson in a nutshell. Enough for me to protest that the nation we live in was founded upon principles that are radically incompatible with my son's school lesson. All right, my first formulation was slightly more blunt and down to earth. "That is garbage!" I cried, yet I promptly and reassuringly invited my son to think of the actual shortcomings of his school lesson. "Your father," I suggested, "does not give you laws or rules so that you may be safe. He does so for the sake of your growing up both strong and good." I later explained the discrepancy at hand with further precision. What his school had been speaking to kids about was a merely negative justification of laws, one bound to fear. His father's protests pointed back to the positive reason of laws, bound to freedom. My son was quick to understand the problem. It was unfair for the school to present a negative motive as sole reason. Laws are not there for us to be safe, but for us to best face danger, without worrying about safety per se. Safety is not a good in itself. Nor is danger, of course, but education, as life itself, is worth nothing in the absence of danger as foremost problem. What counts the most is dangerous. And here came two readily understood examples from his son: love and thought. Both are good and both are dangerous. If law wants us to be safe, then law must be inimical to humanity. It must promote a life that is at once loveless and thoughtless, a life that is definitely not worth preserving, let alone fighting for. Yet, since we do love, and we do think, which is to say that our lives stand or fall with love and thought, as with poetry and its cognitive openness, its awakening to the unknown, it thereupon behooves us to reject any notion of law as aimed at our safety. Only a very selfish man who sought to keep others away from himself would regard laws as instruments of safety. Safety from others, safety from oneself, safety from freedom. Such laws would be our enemies, instruments of enslavement rather than of liberation, curses in disguise. No, we neither need nor want such laws, even as we surely do appreciate safety, where it can be gained in the light of another, a higher end. But perhaps my son's handout presupposed that laws provide for the safety necessary for us to pursue the good. In that case, laws would be altogether mechanically instrumental to our pursuits, whatever these might ever be. Laws would be of no direct or positive help in our envisioning our best or proper ends.